Hello, hello, and we are back again for another horrific review. Seems like such a long time since we spoke last. Right, after yesterday's unboxing, if you saw that, the Dog Soldiers 25th anniversary, I thought I'd have a look at go Werewolf-tastic, and just check out a load of movies. I found this one, uh, British movie, and also has Sean Pertwee in it, so I'm like, I have to watch this. Obviously, so this is made back in 2015. Don't know why I missed it the first time, but there you go. So essentially, what the story is, we have Joe. He's the main character. He's a train conductor, train guard. Um, Starts off essentially he's just finishing his shift, about to go home when the supervisor's like, "No, I need you to cover another one because guard's off sick." This is kind of close to my heart because I unfortunately worked in the railway for a couple of years, and how to put this politely, it's the biggest bunch of arseholes I ever met. One or two good folks, but most of them are just arseholes. It's a horrible working environment, horrible people. It's all about climbing up the next rung of the ladder to look down on everyone else. Work shy, lazy arseholes, just to put it politely. All that union mindset, can't do anything to me. I'll get the unions involved. Management are think they're royalty. Fuck, it's just if you're considering a career on a railway, don't. And this movie kind of brings it all to the fore because you've got Joe. He's just about to finish shift. Oh, I need to work another full shift on a busy night train, heading out of London. So finally he takes it up, and then we meet. It's on the carriageway. He's going up getting the tickets, and this is another thing. Now I worked in the health and safety department, but I have helped out with events, doing conductor duty. So I kind of know this. On the trains, the amount of people that will cause the biggest amount of shit to dodge fares is unreal. There seems to be an attitude of like the actual going on train itself and riding is quite comfortable, especially modern trains. The seat, you get a seat with a table and stuff. You can go a long journey and all nice. Much better than a bus. But for some reason, the railway it's a dickhead magnet. So the only way I describe it is just a fucking dickhead magnet, and you get every arsehole you can imagine under the sun on the trains, working for all the trains. It's just, yeah. So he's going along, and basically what we're doing, we're being introduced. There's not that many on the train, so we're getting introduced to the cast in the movie. Elderly couple, they're fine, going about their business. You've got your typical London yuppie who, up his own arse, probably off his head in coke, swaggering, doing the alpha male thing, absolute prick. You've this kind of professional woman who, very standoffish, snottery. Like, I never understood it. Like, guy goes, tickets please, sure, ticket, job done. Don't have it? Well, guess what? You're paying. Everybody knows this. And if you get the train on any regular basis, that's what happens. Excuse me while I drink the coffee. Yeah, so we get introduced. This wee obnoxious girl on her phone, yap, yap, yap in the quiet lounge. And we're saying about a Joe's character as well, because he's not very confident. He was just turned down. He went to go for a supervisor's position and didn't get it. And his supervisor's telling everybody. But the way his character is, like, afraid to come forward, why would you go for a supervisor if you don't have that amount of confidence? And like I said, people working real well, you have to have a stronger personality than strong personalities are in there, because people dig their heels in. The amount of fighting I had to do to get people to sign for stupid health and safety documents, a flipping most basic thing, and the amount of shit you had to go through just to get a simple, tiny job done was ridiculous. And that's the sort of people. So the supervisors type, you need to be a bigger dickhead. And the dickheads you're supervising, essentially, and it's that whole chain. But he's coming across, he's afraid to go, right, oi, you, phone off, you're in the quiet area, move to another carriage. And she wouldn't show his ticket, and then she accused him of staring in her breast. She doesn't have any, she's only a kid. And this guy's like, ugh. But I think it's the character arc, they're trying to set him up. he's kind of nervous, shy. He fancies the girl that goes up and down the trolley serving stuff, but he hasn't really talked to her. One of those types. But, that's kind of the whole setup. I have to say, what a waste of Sean Pertwee in this movie. He's a train driver. And he's barely in the movie for 2 minutes. Like, absolute waste of an actor. Like, what was this? Just do you want an easy payday? I'll take it. Dink, done. So we'll come along, meeting all the characters. Who else was there? That girl, the couple, the obnoxious kid, professional, Jed, the other, he's a Duncan Preston. He's a good actor as well. So actually, some decent actors in this film as well. And that's it. So driving along, train runs over something and has to come to a stop. We see the driver, Sean Pertwee's character, trying to get on the radio to control office. That's one thing. They could have done a wee bit of research because the procedures are a bit loose, fast and loose, and the conductor not knowing, right? Train drivers and conductors both go through very similar training. They're both safety critical staff. So even as a conductor, you have to know it's drilled into them. You know what I mean? It's trained and trained and trained. I know, bit of a cliche using that word, but it is actually drilled into them what to do if, God, what have I, right? Someone goes down the side of the track, someone goes onto the train comes to a stop. There's a whole set of, things, and it's practice and practice and practice, so to speak, in theory, if nothing else. So the way they kind of get on didn't make sense. But that's just me being a nerd and nitpicking because I know the industry. But train comes to a stop. Driver gets out to investigate, which is a bit of a no-no because it's what they're meant to do is like put out markers and stuff. I mean, there's a whole thing if the train comes to a stop. At least get through to the signal cabinet. So if you can't get through to the control office, you try the next signal cabinet, that sort of thing. This will all be marked as well if the train stops moving all of a sudden. And even now, even though it was 2015, what was that in real life, 2014? Yeah, so you'd have had all trains are GPSed, and we've got a thing called DAS, driver advisory, so it actually records real time the speed of the train. So if the train doesn't hit the mile markers and stuff, so you have to have a wee bit of suspension of disbelief why a train can just come to a stop and nobody twig on what's going on. There's a bit of a storm, things are difficult to get to. It's affecting all the radios, so they're kind of using that. So this is where we first encounter the world. So driver jumps out, checks, he sees it run over an elk. Sorry, a deer. Don't have elk in the UK. It's a deer, mule deer, stag. It's mincemeat. In fairness, that could do, those things can do some damage. You see him running around like countryside. People think we don't have much wildlife here, which, we don't, but we're starting to see wild boars and all come back again. But definitely deer, stags out there. Whatever. So it's entirely possible. Livestock, have cows walking across the track, getting splattered, there's all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. So it's not beyond the realms of one reason. But as it, Sean jumps out, goes check, finds out, next thing you know, he's getting whacked, done. So he's the first victim. Like I said, waste of a character. That's such a shame. He could have done, just did they run out of money to have him in the movie or what? I'd love to know what the decision-making process was having him in this movie, because they could have had any bit actor do that job, because he's like, I think it was about 40 seconds total screen time he had. But there you go. He's the first victim. Then everyone starts, panicking. Joe's coming out trying to be the guard. Now, the whole point of being the conductor is you have that kind of authoritative manner about you. You keep people calm in a crisis, because never mind something. This is big class extreme, but you have punch-ups in trains, you have drunk people, you have all sorts of stuff going on. So you need to kind of be command and control. You need that kind of presence about you. And this guy just doesn't. He stutters, and they basically take a lead from him. And of course, Mr. Alpha, the London yuppie, he starts swaggering about. Jed was my favorite character. He's the elderly gentleman. And that's the couple. He was like the reason, almost like a veteran, being through the mill sort of thing. But yeah, he's starting to calm things down. And everyone sort of goes to pieces. I'm trying to remember who's next. Yeah, Jenny, basically what happens is they start demanding to get off the train. And else, like, you're in the middle of the bloody woods. What are you going to expect? Normally happen that way, but you'd have people come to the train with a bus because you can't just reverse a train and pull it back and stuff. So somebody would come to the tracks with a bus and there'd be flares and stuff put out so you'd know where to go. But that all happens at the control room. But the whole point is that you don't just jump off a train, like especially when it's howling outside, and not just with the wolves, but I mean with the rain and stuff. You're going to sit there quietly. But everything starts falling to pieces until, is it Jenny? Alan and Joe jump out, find the train driver, realize he's gone. They try to get up the front. He's gone. Find his body. They come back to the train. And then I think the werewolf gets Jenny, the elderly woman. Yeah, she's the first one that gets bitten. Bitten on her leg. And then things just go crazy after that. Then they start freaking out. My best death had to be the wee girl. The obnoxious teenager. She was a horrible, like, she starts smoking on the train and just bags of attitude. And people that just deserve to get hit over the head with a brick. They just add nothing to society. They're not nice people and they shouldn't be allowed to breed. And she's not a non-realistic character because there's too many wee shitheads like that in the world. Just entitled wee brats that have never been told no in their life. And then they just make your life a misery. That's why I don't work with the public now, because I just don't have the patience anymore, too long in the tooth, to be dealing with crap from wee shitheads like that. But yeah, she gets ripped through the window and it's like, yes! I was cheering, going, yeah, rip her to bits. And she didn't die quickly. It was like, oh, getting ripped, so that was funny. And then basically go and try and save themselves. So we start a whole montage. They start the final toolbox, in the train. They start boarding up the windows. Thing is, they've only been in the train. They're talking like getting off and stuff and escaping. And they haven't even been in the thing an hour. I mean, they're freaking out, in time speaking. So I've been in trains when they've delayed. I've been in ferries when they've delayed. And you know what? You can last a couple of hours just calmly. I don't understand this thing about people, especially when it's a night train. So you're not going, you're not as if you're, if it was a morning commute, I can get people getting a bit testy. But just the way people react, but that's people. You automatically think something's not happening straight away and they start losing their minds. I was covering a concert once, and that was what we were doing. It was a concert venue was near the train station, and obviously we were there for crowd control and selling tickets because you don't want everybody piling onto the flipping platform and then fall into the tracks. So you have to put extra people out, and you got thousands coming on to get the train. Now, the train was coming, and there's just one person I remember just getting in my face. What do you mean? I'm like, we're running trains until everyone's home. That's it. As soon as it arrives, they're just going to be constant. Next train. What do you mean constant trains? It's not here yet. Like, what do you want it to do? Fly? It still has to get here. And this guy, in fact, I was about to give him a refund and tell him to clear off. Just some people are like that. And it just gets you. But these are people just can't sit in their backsides for a couple of hours until I know it would make the movie, but this brought a lot of emotions for the wrong reasons, not to do with the werewolves, but just remind me of the railway again. It's like, oh god, no, I'll never go back. Could pay me enough, honestly. Just that environment. Like I said, I don't know. Railway is a dickhead magnet for some reason. Who's next? Paul. Yeah, there's this guy gets locked in the toilets. He'd been the night out, come with kebab, and he got the squirts, so he went to the toilet. And then next thing you know, he comes, they hear him banging, he comes bundling out and flipping piss all over the floor and stuff. It was like that, and just, oh man, gnarly. Yeah, he's next to get killed. And then everyone tries to do a runner. Disappointing thing was the werewolves themselves, when we finally see them, are horrendous. This had to be the worst werewolf makeup and costume in my life. They're sort of half humanoid, almost like, the skeletal vampire with the wings. It was kind of that. They weren't proper werewolf costumes. Yeah, didn't like them. Just on Game of Fans, the human faces. They were trying to highlight the fact, but realize the pack of werewolves, not just one. And they get on the train, everyone has to run, they start getting picked off one by one. The only person who survives is Ellen. Everyone else gets wiped out. She walks back to the previous station. And that's it. Then we'll have this scene at the end where Yuppie gets killed. He gets cornered by all the werewolves, and then Joe's one because he's turned. It's not a bad movie. I'll give it that. It's a watchable one. It's not one that it's not like Dog Soldiers. Dog Soldiers you can put on the Blu-ray player, or you can stream it again, and still enjoy it. This one, if I was on again, I'd watch it maybe if there was nothing else, but I wouldn't get excited. Wouldn't keep it. It's a low budget sort of movie. The werewolves themselves put me off. I'll show you. You see the movie poster that's on the description. It's nothing like that. The actual werewolves themselves look nothing like that. If it had looked like the Wolfman sort of thing, I'd have been on board. But like I said, the actual werewolves themselves just put me off. And that's really it. It's a paint by numbers horror movie. With werewolves. Not the worst werewolf movie. I've seen some stinkers like the Howling series. Some of the earlier movies are absolutely atrocious. God, there was another one. I actually went to watch it earlier on and realized I'd watched it before. And it starts off with a guy trying to buy a gravestone, and I remember being shit, so I didn't carry on. So there's loads of stinkers out there. This isn't bad. You know what I mean? It isn't bad. What can I say? Check it out. Give it a go. You never know. You might like it. If you disagree with me, by the way, please let me know in the comments. Be interesting to get a bit of discourse going and thoughts, because it's a bit weird doing these reviews, staring into the camera, the ether, and not getting any feedback about the movies. If I don't like something that you really enjoy, obviously don't be an arse about it. Just what you enjoyed. Talk about the aspects you enjoy. We can have a conversation, and that's really it. Hope you enjoyed that. It was an interesting movie. Like I said, watchable. Didn't set the world on fire. The werewolves themselves have disappointed when characters weren't bad. Some of them a bit cliche, paint by numbers, but here, that's what you get for low budget. Decent performances though, all round. I have to say, for what they were, decent performances. So all enjoyed. Absolute waste to Sean Pertwee in this, without a doubt. I don't know what was going on there for his character. He could have been anybody, but there you have it. So check it out. And until next time, folks, keep it creepy, keep it horrific.